Welcome to NutriFeed Education Hub. Non-communicable diseases such as heart disease, diabetes are on the rise in our society. One of the major contributing factors to weight gain, obesity, and associated lifestyle diseases is our diet, our food choices. At NutriFeed, we empower our community with basic nutrition knowledge and relevant scientific information to make better food choices and select physical exercise pattern to live an active, healthy, and productive life. Once again, I welcome you to our Nutrition and Health Talk platform. Today, I'm in conversation with Professor Siwela. Professor Siwela holds a PhD in food science awarded by the University of Pretoria in 2009. He's a professional member of the South African Association for Food Science and Technology and is a registered professional natural scientist with the South African Council for Natural Scientific Professions. He is a rated researcher through the National Research Foundation of South Africa. Professor Siwela has been a university academic for some 20 years in 3 universities in Southern Africa, but much of this long academic career has been spent at the University of KwaZulu-Natal in South Africa. Currently, he is an associate professor in the Department of Dietetics and Human Nutrition. Professor Siwela, welcome to NutriFeed Education platform.
Thank you for having me on your platform.
Thank you. Together, we will be exploring the protective power of phytonutrients. If I may start, what are phytonutrients, Professor Siwela?
Prof, phytonutrients can be defined as the components of food which are of plant origin that have health beneficial effects that are health beneficial effects other than the normal nutritional effects that we obtain from nutrients.
We normally heard of phytonutrient, phytochemical. Can we clarify that? What is your opinion? Or do we refer to them as phytonutrient or phytochemicals?
Okay, because of the strict disciplines, the scientific disciplines or different scientific disciplines like human nutrition, a nutritionist would say a nutrient are those well-known nutrients. There are about 14 well-known nutrients, including vitamins, minerals, proteins, and carbohydrates. And then the phytochemicals, some of them fall within those groups of nutrients, but other phytochemicals or phytonutrients don't fall into that. But because they have these benefits, health benefits, we can also put the word in inverted commas, phytonutrients. But otherwise, a more strict scientific definition would be phytochemicals, indicating that they may be nutrients or non-nutrients, but the most important thing about them is that they have these health benefits other than the well-known nutritional benefits.
Okay, if we want to, a consumer would like to differentiate a phytonutrient from maybe other nutrients like protein, which are usually commonly known by the consumer out there, how can we identify phytonutrient? Or basically what I may want to ask is that what could be the different classes and how can the consumer identify them?
Okay, as I said earlier, the phytonutrients, one, they are of plant origin. They are found from plant foods. And also, whether they are the traditional nutrients, like let's say we have some which have vitamin A activity. The most important thing is that they will have additional health benefits that would normally not be expected from the other plant nutrients or other nutrients of some other food origins. And that leads me to classifying them. So the phytonutrients there are several phytonutrients. They are diverse organic compounds found in plants. In plant foods, the phytonutrients may be classified in different ways. I'll give some broad classifications that have been used and that are currently used. They include the phenolic compounds, a huge group within itself. The predominant phenolic compounds in foods are phenolic acids, flavonoids, and tannins. So the flavonoids within the group of phenolic compounds are the most potent in health benefits. They include the colorful anthocyanins that impart the bright red, pink, violet colors in fruits and vegetables, right? And then the other groups, apart from the phenolic compounds, they include another big group called the carotenoid pigments. Among the carotenoids, we have ones that have vitamin A activity, sometimes called provitamins. They include the alpha carotene, beta carotene, and cryptoxanthin. But the other non-vitamin ones, which are phytonutrients also, they include the lutein, lycopene. The carotenoid pigments typically impart bright red, orange, pink colors, orange, yellow, pink colors on fruits and vegetables. And then the other group of phytonutrients are the phytosterols. These are mainly found also in plants. They are organic in nature and they are organic alcohols. And then we also have some called glucosylanoids. There's another group of phytochemicals. So there are quite a number, but those probably are the major ones that I wanted to talk about today.
Thank you, Professor Siwela, for that explicit answer. What I pick up is that, so in a nutshell, consumers could identify nutrient based on different colors of fruit of foods items. Am I correct?
Yes, that actually nature is a good design for the consumer, because consumers normally would not go into the scientific to say, let me go and identify and find out whether it's a phenolic compound, it's a carotenoid. Consumers would just go for simple messages, something that is simple to identify. And unfortunately, naturally, we have these colors, like you've mentioned, the bright colors. I've already talked about the bright colors of anthocyanins, part of the phenolic compounds, the bright colors of the carotenoid pigments.
Thank you, Professor Siwela. I think that is very clear now that consumers know they could associate the different colors with phytonutrients in plants. I think we could explore the health benefits, because that will be the incentive for the consumer to go for them. So can we explore the health benefits of different phytonutrients or phytochemicals? Can you tell us in a nutshell what could be the health benefit of someone consuming them?
Okay, a number of benefits have been associated or are linked with these phytonutrients. It is noted that most of these benefits tend to be leaning towards alleviating or prevention of the progression of what are called degenerative health conditions. The health conditions that are associated with the tissues or the cells breaking down, or the major important cell components breaking down due to aging or other health conditions that can be associated with the people. So in a nutshell, one that is not degenerative is the fact that these phytochemicals have antimicrobial activity. So they can be powerful in preventing health conditions that are associated with microbial infections. So they can assist in fighting off microorganisms. So in that case, they provide an additional immunity to humans against microbial diseases. Then, amongst most of the degenerative health conditions where people find themselves in, the phytochemicals have been found active against one, the cardiovascular health conditions like hypertension. They tend to lower hypertension. They tend to lower the risk of heart failure or heart disease that is associated with blockage of arteries, which is attributed to oxidation. So the phenolic compounds and the other phytochemicals, which reduces or prevents the oxidation of tissues, which may lead to blockage of some of the tissue canals like the arterioles. The phytochemicals have other health benefits like being anti-inflammatory. They tend to be pain reducing, they alleviate pain, and some of them have been associated with anti-diabetic effects, some with anti-flatulence effects, this gas effect in the abdomen and so forth. They've been associated with that. They've been associated with the lowering cataract in eyes by preventing the polarization of tissues resulting in the cataracts. All that. So it's so many of them. One of the most attractive one, actually powerful, is that they've been found to be anti-carcinogenic, anti-cancer, having these anti-cancer, anti-carcinogenic effects. The mechanism at the scientific level, I would not want to discuss them in so much detail in a general way, but there are many mechanisms. One of them is that I've already stated that they do this by reducing the oxidation of tissues, the oxidation of vital or important cell components like DNA, proteins, and so forth that could lead to cancer, diabetes, and so forth.
Thank you, Professor Siwela. I could pick up from your description that these phytonutrients are important health promoting factors. How do we ensure that we consume enough of these particular nutrients from your experience?
Thank you, Prof. The simple and most effective message that I would give out there to fellow consumers, I'm also a fellow consumer who would want to benefit from this phytonutrient, is that use the idea that the sources in the first place are plant foods. And the most well-known rich plant foods that are rich in phytonutrients are the fruits and vegetables, and then the grains, legume grains, and the cereal grains. So amongst these plant foods that are rich in phytochemicals, while consumers are advised to consume fruits and vegetables regularly, and a variety of fruits and vegetables quite regularly in large amounts as much as they can. And in terms of selecting them for richness, I've already stated they must go mainly for the deep green leafy vegetables, yellow, orange, red, pink fruits and vegetables, brown cereal grains, legume grains, and they are consumed in their whole state because the phenolic compounds, for example, which are imparted brown colors on the grains, legume grains, and cereal grains, are concentrated mainly in the outer layers, the fiber-rich outer layers. So consuming these whole grains, whole cereal grains, whole legume grains will ensure an intake of high levels of the phenolic compounds. And then in the fruits and vegetables, I recommended the colorful ones like mangoes, spinach, watermelons, and so forth. And then consume them. Is more recommended that the consumers, to ensure optimal activity of these phytochemicals, is limited heating or processing of these. So if ideal, they can be consumed fresh and cooked. If it's possible, it's highly recommended, or partially cooked. or just minimal cooking. So then that will ensure higher intakes of them. The consumption must be regular. I must recommend strongly, so that because they remember when they are used, they are utilized, and the byproducts are lost from the body. So we always need to replenish what we are taking in. So if a consumer can always make sure, ask their question that, what colorful plant food did I consume today? Could be a fruit, a vegetable, cereal grains, brown cereal grains, whole grains, and whole legumes. That will ensure a high levels of intake of these phytochemicals, phytonutrients. So the consumers, I always encourage that they listen to this messaging and take them seriously. And anyone who passes those messages should try to package it in such a way that it is as simple as possible to the consumers, but highlighting always the risk of not following a diet that is rich in these phytonutrients.
Thank you, Professor Siwela. And just to summarize this to our audience, phytonutrients come mainly from plants. We can identify them based on different colors of fruits and vegetables. And one way to ensure adequate intake of those nutrients is by consuming a variety of food. I thank you, Professor Siwela, for your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof. Thank you again for having me on your platform.
Thank you.